Hey y'all, Sidison here. Welcome back to another YouTube video. Welcome back to my channel again. I've been out for a while, I've been busy trying to at least spend my last few weeks of summer break before college starts. I'm pretty sure for y'all also have school started, I think by the week of me editing or recording this video. But some of y'all don't. Some of y'all lucky bastards get to wait until September for y'all's school. But for me, school's getting called, but that ain't gonna change much. I mean, I don't know. We'll see how scheduling goes, but yeah. Welcome back to this video. Today we're gonna be talking about terms that are just not used properly. If y'all, by the way, before I get into this video, if y'all like this video, if y'all like the content I make, please feel free to subscribe and like and, share comments. Doesn't seem like it, but I do read every single comment and I need to start going back on replying basically. But yeah, I can't wait for that. But yeah, let's get into the topic of this video. Now, the first term that's thrown around in the car community that's usually misused or just used incorrectly is the term JDM. Now, this honestly, I kind of made this video around the whole thing about JDM, but it was also one of the things that I wanted to add in. But yeah, the term JDM is just used incorrectly like 80% of the time in the car community, at least online. For those who don't know, JDM stands for Japanese Domestic Market. Now, this is usually vehicles that are produced in Japan that are specified for Japanese markets and homologated for that specific region. That doesn't mean every Japanese car is JDM. That doesn't mean every non-Japanese car cannot be JDM. It just means cars that were sold in Japan to Japanese specs are JDM vehicles. But apparently, I guess nobody online seems to understand that or even use that correctly, because oh my god, I have seen so much posts and like so much content where they say JDM car meets and JDM car collections and stuff like that, but most of these cars are left-hand drive, which that should already be an indicator. Like, most Japanese vehicles are only right-hand drive. That's due to their roads, and it's basically inverse to what most of America and Europe, apart from the UK. Obviously, UK is kind of special. But yeah, if a car is left-hand drive in Japanese, that doesn't make it JDM. That doesn't mean you can slap on a JDM and try to it's still a Japanese tuner car, because that's less about its country of origin and where it was marketed towards. But yeah, just because you have a left-hand drive Honda Civic doesn't make it JDM. To make it JDM, you'd have to import it, mostly, and it would have to be imported from Japan or be originally built and manufactured in Japan. Now, that also means that European and some American cars, not usually, it's very rare, but there are some European and American cars that are technically JDM because they're right-hand drive and have been designed just especially for the Japanese market. I think one would be the Caterham. I'm pretty sure there's one. I don't know though, but it's rare. But there's also it exists. It does exist, and I just don't understand why, despite a lot of people saying the same thing that I've said, why people still seem to make this mistake. And it's honestly it's a pet peeve of mine. It's not really I'm not gonna fight somebody over it with it, but it's kind of mildly infuriating, to be honest. Now, the second term I'd like to mention is the use of the word clean, or when people say that it's a clean build. Now, Ironically, the one thing it isn't used to mention in the car community, if you call a vehicle clean, is ironically it doesn't mean that the car is like shiny clean or like it's been washed. I know a lot of people that outside, they would think that that's what you mean by a clean car, but in the community, there's no definition, and that's kind of where all of this like issue starts, because clean cars can go from something that's OEM bone stock, OEM plus, like mods that would make sense or like fit well, but don't like show up, to just it doesn't have a set definition. Like I've seen people like call clean vehicles like just vehicles are heavily modded and just slammed, and just apparently that's clean. And apparently sometimes even if the vehicle is poorly modded, if it's like not damaged, apparently it's considered clean. And I just don't understand. I just don't understand why we can't make a clear consensus on what is considered clean and what we should consider as a clean build. Like, I would generally say something that's not too flashy. I mean, that's not saying that you can't have flashy vehicles and flashy mods, but something that's like something that flows well with the original design of the vehicle, but still adds on to it. So like a ducktail spoiler, lowered slightly, high quality wheels, and kind of more chill looking kind of body kit, nothing that's too over the top. So I'd say that's technically a clean build, but that's my term, and it doesn't translate whenever I use that term compared to other people. Now, the final term I want to point on is the whole stage when it comes to like tuned vehicles and modified vehicles. It suffers from the same problem as the previous term, and there's just no clear consensus over what a stage tune is. I mean, it's usually used a lot more by performance shops and marketing and like performance brands, but one company's stages don't really align well with another company. It's basically a stage. No stages means a vehicle is stock, like bone stock. There's nothing done to it. There's no modifications or add-ons. Stage 1 typically means that it's lightly modified. Usually just means no forced induction, just a exhaust and like maybe an intake sometimes, but it doesn't usually. It's usually like a light tune, basically. It may or may not. That's the confusing part. Sometimes it includes like having a tune, having your vehicle put in a dyno and tuned, and then sometimes it's just only like remods that are done to the car. But that's not as confusing as like stage 2 tune, which is even more confusing. It makes even less sense, because stage 2 I would assume is forced induction and all the parts that are required to hold on that forced induction. But sometimes I've seen certain vehicles that are stage 2 and they don't have any forced induction, and stage 2 can sometimes mean an engine rebuild, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why companies decide to use these arbitrary stages when it comes to selling mods. And car enthusiasts, they love to brag about it, but it doesn't fit well, because there'll sometimes be stage 3 being like, oh, I got a stage 3 tune, but it'll be like, what is a stage 3? What is a stage 4? How much stages are there? What is this? Like, it doesn't make sense why we can't make a consensus on, oh, stage 1 means just exhaust and intake and a tune, just to keep it. Stage 2 means forced induction. Stage 3 means rebuilt engine. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. But yeah, it's kind of amusing to look at, but it's also, it makes your brain kind of spin whenever you're trying to understand all of these terms. But yeah, just a quick video I wanted to put out. Hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll be shifting back to gaming and cars back and forth. But yeah, I'll be making a few more videos in the coming weeks, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.